after a couple of great games in Boston, the Jays head to New York to take on the Yankees for a 3-game series, and they lose Game 1, 10-8 in the Bronx at Yankee Stadium against the New York Yankees. Now, there's only one thing that we could say that really wasn't good for the Blue Jays today, and that was the start from Aaron Sanchez. He had an amazing first 4 innings. He looked dynamite. He looked like Aaron Sanchez of old, and then he hit a brick wall, and that was basically the end of it, and we'll get to that in a bit here. And you guys are probably wondering, well, you're wearing the hat again. Well, I think you're saying we're wearing that after the last win and all that stuff. Yes, I was, but I'm trying to find every excuse to wear it. You know why? Because it's flippin' beautiful. And Pascal Siakam, as of tonight, got named Most Improved Player, as we all expected to see, and I am so happy that Pascal did it. The Raptors won the championship. He got Most Improved Player. Kawhi Leonard got MVP in the finals. It just caps off the great year. Now, if Kawhi Leonard does decide to stay around in Toronto, it just kind of builds and adds on to the amazing year that it has been for the Toronto Raptors. But we will not figure that out for a little while. I'm going to leave that kind of stuff for the off-season preview and the season review there on Thursday. All right? But let's get to this ball game. Let's get to this ball game for the Toronto Blue Jays. And as I said, Sanchez was great through the first 4 innings, and the Jays actually got on the board first. They got on CC Sabathia early on in the ball game. I was really impressed with the Jays. Eric Sogard doing what he does best, leads off the ball game with a walk. Amazing job by him. Then Vladimir Guerrero Jr. doubles to right field, and Eric Sogard comes in to score, and we're like, hey, Vladdy, attaboy, way to get some good piece on there. And the Jays got a 1-0 lead. Things are feeling real nice for the Blue Jays there early on. Next up, Gurriel strikes out, Biggio flies out, and it's 2 out, nothing really going there. Randall Grichuk gets an infield single to the shortstop. Guerrero moves up to third base. You have runners on the corners. You're going to end up taking a 2-0 lead. Is that what we're going to see here? Then Rowdy Tellez doubles down the right field line off the glove of DJ LeMahieu into the corner. And Rowdy ends up at second. Guerrero ends up at, he comes home to score, and Grichuk goes to third. The Jays got a 2-0 lead early. They're taking that stuff they had in Boston and building on it in New York. It is awesome. Now, the offense, as the game does go along, though, throughout those, next 3 or 4 innings, there really wasn't a whole lot. There were a couple opportunities where they had guys in scoring position, but really couldn't get anything across. And then you go to the bottom of the 5th inning. And I think this was the turning point in the game. With 2 on, okay? And was there 2 out? I'm going to go to that inning there in the bottom of the 5th. There it is. You got the first out, LeMahieu. So there's 1 out. Then he gave up a single to... so this is what would happen. Brett Gardner hits a hard ground ball right at Aaron Sanchez. It hits him, it looks like in the ankle. He ends up making the play, getting the first out of the inning. That's great. The trainer comes out, they test him out, he has a couple pitches. He's like, yeah, I'm good to go, no problem. Assuming nothing's wrong. Next batter, LeMahieu, singles to center field. Next up, Luke Voigt, he singles to left field. And the next batter is Aaron Hicks. Now, we've talked about Luke Maile in the past about being a great catcher. I talked about him a couple videos ago about how I did not like a pitch call that he made. And I didn't like this one either. You're down 2-0 to Aaron Hicks, okay? You always hear about reading the bats. What are the bats of the other teams telling you? Well, it's a 2-0 count. You throw a 2-0 fastball to Aaron Hicks because you want to get back in the count, and he rips it foul. Line drive shot, foul. He comes back with the exact same pitch. And this time, Aaron Hicks crushes a 3-run shot, and that 2-0 lead turns into a 3-2 deficit. Why in God's green earth would you go throw a pitch, a 2-1 fastball after you just got one crushed foul? It makes no sense. Now, I don't know if Aaron Sanchez shook him off and wanted to throw the fastball, or if Luke Maile put it down and that was that. No matter what the case is, that should not have been what happened. There should have been an off-speed, whether it be a changeup, whether it be a curveball, doesn't matter. Because you already saw in the first inning, Aaron Hicks struck out on a curveball. In the second at bat, he struck out on a fastball because he was expecting curveball. When you're down 2-0 and 2-1, when you think about logic, 2-0 you expect the fastball. And even 2-1 you expect the fastball because you don't want to see a 3-1 pitch. That's why people cross them up and they throw the 2-1 curveball. That's why you see a lot of full count curveballs or 3-0 curveballs sometimes. You don't see it very often. But for Aaron Sanchez, you have to mix up the pitches. Your curveball was working real good early on in the ball game, and it didn't work there. You go down 3-2. And I don't know if that shot is confidence or whatnot, but then you go to the next inning in the 6th, and he's just getting hit all over the place. They end up scoring 7 runs in the inning, 4 of them charged to Aaron Sanchez, and just like that, having his first 4 innings of scoreless ball, having 1 or 2 hits given up, feeling fantastic, his line looks like this: 5 1/3, 9 hits, 7 runs, walked 3 and struck out 4. It looks awful. But it was just some bad pitches that killed him. I don't know what happened in the 6th inning about how he just completely caved in and lost it. And if you're the Blue Jays, yeah, you have a 2-0 lead and would have loved to build on it, but you had the lead. It's now your pitcher's job to do their thing. He didn't do that. Now let's flip over to the bats here. You're going into the 8th inning. You're down 8-2. It doesn't really mean anything, right? Not to this Blue Jays team. What we have learned over the last little while with this team, they do not quit at all. They bring in Holder to pitch and, not having a great year, but nonetheless, you're in a 10-2 ball game. You don't want to use Ottavino and Chapman and Chad Green because Chad Green's expected to be the opener tomorrow. You don't want to do that kind of stuff. However, with Holder on the mound, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. crushes an 0-1 pitch deep and gone. His 10th home run of the year, peanut power on fire. And it's a 10-3 ball game. It didn't really mean anything at that point, but here we go. Next up, Kevin Biggio. He singles to right field. Then Grichuk singles to left field. Then Tellez singles to center. There's the bases loaded and nobody out here. What the heck's going on? And Freddie Galvis at the dish now. And Freddie Galvis gets a pitch up in the zone. He crushes it deep to right center, and it's gone. A grand slam for Freddie Galvis, and just like that, a 10-2 game turns into a 10-7 ball game. And now the Yankees are like, okay, we got to let's go. Let's change this thing. Because Holder, he did not get an out. He gave up 5 hits and 5 runs. It was awful. And I'm smiling right now because even though we lost, you think about how nice this would have been for Yankee fans and the organization, really, just watching this play out, because you would have had Chad Green rested for tomorrow. You would have had Chapman and Ottavino and all these guys rested for tomorrow. But the Jays actually make this little comeback here, make it a 10-7 game, and you got to throw Chad Green into there. So what is that going to mean for the opening position there tomorrow? I don't know how many pitches Chad Green actually had. I'm going to try and find it here. Let's see if I can find it. Pitches, he had 16 pitches. But I mean, considering he's supposed to pitch tomorrow for 2 innings as he has in his couple openings so far this year, is he going to be able to do 2? Maybe not. Maybe he'll only go the 1 inning. So with that being the case, and him getting a couple guys on base, he gave up, I think it was a couple infield singles, they got to bring in Adam Ottavino to come in and close out that inning. Now, he does. He only doesn't throw many pitches. He throws 8 pitches. But they didn't want to have to use him at all. And then you go to the 9th inning. It's in the same situation, so you've got to throw in Aroldis Chapman at this point. And the Jays, yes, they go up. They get the triple from Grichuk, and they get the sacrifice fly from Rowdy Tellez, but that's it. However, the pitch count he threw. Where's Chapman? 25 pitches in that 1 inning. Is he available for tomorrow? Is he going to be available to pitch tomorrow if they need him? And if he is, they can't pitch him in the finale of the series. I understand, guys. They lost. I get it, and I know they didn't get a whole lot done, really. And they lost, obviously, and it took them being down 10-2 to kind of wake up at the end. But you're just being a thorn into the side of the Yankees and the Red Sox there earlier. You're just being a pain in the rear. The Jays are not supposed to be a great team. They're 29-50 after the loss today. They're not going to be a playoff team. But if you can be around and say, hey, we're gonna be a real pain in your rear end, because why not? Kawhi not, because the Raptors are NBA champions. It's fun, and if I look at the stats right now, I'm okay with it. Sogard went 1 for 3 with a couple walks. Why? Because the guy's unbelievable. He almost has as many walks as he does strikeouts because he's fantastic. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., great to see him have a good ball game. He had 3 good hits. He was 3 for 5 in the game with a run scored and an RBI. You know why he did that? You know why he had 3 hits? He was not being over-aggressive. He was not swinging out his rear end the entire time. He was just making contact, solid contact. If you get a pitch that you can drive and crush, then you take that big hack. But if it's a pitch in the outer half, don't try and kill it. Put bat on ball and good things happen. And he did that there today. And I was really impressed with him. 20-year-old kid making adjustments. And it's awesome to see his average up to 255 now for Vladdy. And Lourdes Gurriel Jr. just continues to hit. He was 2 for 5 in the ball game, had 3 strikeouts, but he was 2 for 5 with the RBI and obviously the home run. His average up to 289 in the year. Kevin Biggio 1 for 5 with a run scored. Randall Grichuk had a 3 for 5 ball game. 2 runs scored, and the triple, obviously, well, I wouldn't say, it was a double off of Aroldis Chapman, but, I mean, it was an error by Stanton. That was kind of rough out there to watch for any sports fan, watching Stanton try to field that ball out there. Tellez went 2 for 4 with a couple RBIs. Freddie Galvis 2 for 4 with 4 RBIs from the Grand Slam. The Jays had 14 hits. They had 8 runs on 14 hits against the Yankees. And I know we're going to hear, well, they didn't face our best relievers till the end. I don't care. I could give a damn. You face guys on the roster. The Jays scored 8 runs. They had 15 hits. They did a great job. Now, pitching-wise, we always talked about Sanchez not having a good time, and Derek Locke clearly didn't do much better. He threw a third of an inning, gave up 2 hits and 3 runs, and walked the batter. He was awful. Sean Reid-Foley, great to see him back up here, and I want to see this kid do well. The reason I say kid, he is 23 years of age, people. 23. You see the stuff he has. But his control just kind of gets away from him at times. He threw 2 innings. He gave up 2 hits, 3 walks, but he did not give up a run. Got a couple strikeouts coming into the ball game in only 2 1/3 innings, obviously 2 innings pitched this year. But his ERA was 13.5. With the 2 innings of scoreless ball today, 6.75 his ERA is now. So it's a little bit better. But again, for Sean Reid-Foley, he's just, I want to have faith in the kid. Just got to throw strikes. He's got the stuff. It reminds me of Thornton. It reminds me of Sanchez. They have the stuff. But can they throw strikes? Can they get outs? That's the big question with these young kids. With Thornton, at least in his last couple starts, we have really seen him do well. And he's going on Wednesday against the Yankees. And for Sean Reid-Foley, I don't know what we're going to see in the future. What is he going to be? I have no idea. I want him to be a dominant starter for this team. But will he? Only time will tell, and that's up to him, all right? Now, quickly, we're going to hit up the minor leagues real quickly here because the Buffalo Bisons won again. They're playing some pretty good ball down there, actually, right now, aren't they? They're 39-36. They've been winning quite a few, it feels like, as of lately. And Bo Bichette continues to rake. He had a 4 for 5 game yesterday. He went 2 for 4 with an RBI, a walk, and 2 runs scored today. That average up to 295 now. Now, people say, I know I'm going to hear the questions about, well, when's he going to get called up? Look, I don't think it'll be for a little while. My personal feel is if he can continue to hit at this pace, maybe not this pace because this is stupid, but if he can hit about 300 in and around there until about the All-Star break to July 31st trade deadline, then I think you might call him up. The reason I'm saying wait that long is because last year he played in Double-A New Hampshire. He has not played many games at the AAA level. Hold on, let me just go to him right now. He's played a total of 25 games. 95 at-bats in AAA. I get it. He's one of the up-and-coming young studs for this team, and people are already trying to map out the starting lineup for this team, and I love the looks of Kevin Biggio, maybe even at the top of the lineup for the future, with kind of guys like maybe even Bichette number 2 and Vladdy 3 and Gurriel 4, or something. That foursome, if you want to call it that, looks pretty damn good for the future. Now, will they all pan out the way we want them to? Time is going to tell. You've learned what Gurriel is as a hitter. We're starting to learn about Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Biggio, we know he's an amazing guy at the plate. It's just with the bat, he's still trying to find himself a little bit here, and that's okay. And for Bo Bichette, what we're seeing right now is that he's doing a really good job at AAA Buffalo. He's gotten back into the swing of things, and he is ripping the ball apart as of late. Over his last 10 games, I'm going to say what his numbers are for Bo Bichette. He's hitting 357 over his last 10 games. And, put into perspective, he had an awful, last little while. So, to see him ripping the ball up the way he has over the last 10 games, and even over the last 3, he hit 500, 800, and 500. Those were his last 3 games. That is insane. Now, can he keep it up? Probably not, because those are crazy numbers. But for Bo Bichette, you want to see him continue to grow. He's so young, and he's going to be a great player for many years for this team. Just be patient, Jays fans. Just be really patient with this kid, all right? Any other positives down there in Thomas Pannone threw 5 innings of 5-hit ball, 1 run, couple walks, and 5 strikeouts. He was really good down there in the game today. And down in Double-A New Hampshire, the New Hampshire Fisher Cats lost 8-4. My boy Zach Lowe, who's been fantastic for the Double-A New Hampshire Fisher Cats, had a rough start today. 4 1/3, 6 hits, 7 runs given up, a couple walks, a couple strikeouts. Tough time there for him. But bats-wise, there was a few positives to take from the ball game today. Forrest Wall 1 for 4 with a run scored. Logan Warmoth 0 for 4 with a strikeout, but he was batting number 2 in the lineup. They're really testing this young kid, and I like it. I'm really liking him. Santiago Espinal went 2 for 4 with an RBI. Great to see there. Kevin Smith, one of the Jays' top 10 prospects who has really not had a great year down there in Double-A. He had a good ball game there. He went 2 for 3 with a couple runs scored. Great to see there for Kevin Smith. And Chad Spanberger coming off the bench. 1 for 2 with an RBI and a run scored, hitting .222 on the year. He is slowly making that transition up. Again, not too long ago, he was in the 190s, 180s when it comes to batting average, and now he's in the .222. So it's good to see for Spanberger. Will he continue to grow and hit .230, .240, in the season? We're gonna have to wait and see. I don't know, but there are positives to take from it, and really the positives though are at the big league level and Bo Bichette right now, because it was a great ball game by the Jays to come back, show the adversity, and be a real pain in the rear end to the Yankees. It's nice to see, you know. Game 2 of the series, guys, goes tomorrow night. It's a 7:07 first pitch there at 7:05 first pitch at Yankee Stadium. Clayton Richard on the mound for the Blue Jays, and it was initially supposed to be a bullpen day for the Yankees and Chad Green on the mound. But he pitched today and had 16 pitches. So what are they going to do tomorrow? We're going to have to wait and see how that plays out, though, guys. 7:05 first pitch, like I said, at Yankee Stadium. And then in the finale, we have Trent Thorne on the mound for the Blue Jays, James Paxton on the mound for the Yankees. And that's an afternoon game on Wednesday, 1:05 first pitch. So that's what rounds out the series. All right, so you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. You guys enjoyed the video, and you guys enjoyed the 8th inning for the Blue Jays and the first 4 innings for Aaron Sanchez, and that's really about it. Smack that like button, you appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button if you guys have not already. Comment down below your thoughts on the video, your thoughts on the game. You know, what were your thoughts on Aaron Sanchez's outing? The whole Luke Maile call in that 5th inning. Do you blame him? Do you blame Sanchez? I don't know. I want to hear your guys' thoughts on all of that kind of stuff. And what are your thoughts on this team right now? I want to hear your guys' thoughts. All right. What are your thoughts on Vladdy? What are your thoughts on Gurriel? What are your thoughts on, Grichuk, Rowdy Tellez, these young guys? What are your thoughts on them? There's a lot of question marks regarding this team and the future of this team. But we know for certain Gurriel's here, Biggio's here, and Vladdy's here. You know that for a fact. Now, the whole thing about Marcus Stroman, I'm not going to get into that because I personally don't agree with the situation, but that's just me. I'm a Stroman fan, so, I don't want my guy to get traded, but if he does, I'm praying to God the package is nice, and he doesn't get traded to the damn American League East. Don't want to see him half a dozen times in a season, because seeing J.A. Happ is tough enough. Seeing Marcus Stroman on the same damn team, and what do they get a World Series ring? That just looks great, doesn't it? So for the Jays, I don't want them to trade him to the Yankees. They can go National League. Sure, go play with Chris Archer in Pittsburgh. Go ahead. Cubbies, sure, they have some good young players. We'll take it. Anybody but the Yankees, Red Sox, or Rays. Anybody but the American League East. Orioles, I don't know why that would happen. Please, as a Jays fan, do not trade him to the American League East. All right, so you know what, guys? Mess with my man Mo Buckets on Twitter. He's Blue Jays Wave on Instagram. He posted the Gurriel Jr. home run. Check him out. If you guys did not see the home run by Gurriel Jr., go check it out on Blue Jays Wave on Instagram, guys. And I'll talk to you guys Raptors edition. It'll be on Thursday afternoon, or Thursday, maybe early evening, all right, as the Raptors, we'll be talking about the season review and off-season preview for the Toronto Raptors. It's going to be a crazy one. It might be a little bit of a long video there, but it's going to be a lot of fun to talk about. And as for the Blue Jays, like we talked about, they play Game 2 of the 3-game set against the New York Yankees tomorrow night, 7:05 first pitch at Yankee Stadium. Clayton Richard on the mound for the Blue Jays. It's supposed to be Chad Green. Will it? We're not so sure right now, but we're going to have to wait and see how it all plays out tomorrow night. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Talk to you guys then.